Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series, Custom 4v4. It's not Custom 4v4, I'm telling absolute porkies. It's 4v4 ladder action this afternoon, featuring one of your favourite pros and a whole selection of average Joes nestled neatly beneath him, in a totally plutonic sense, of course. So essentially, it's average Joe's day-to-day, those masters of mediocrity returning once again to show us, with the benefit of hindsight, the missed opportunities of contraception. Of course, Team 1 up here at the top, and this Team 2 down here at the bottom. Going first for Team 1 right at the top of the screen as he gates in. It's a Buzzle Bash. There he is, going Aeon in Cyanide Cyan, opening first land. Team member number 2 to his southwest over here, it's Matches in this season's fabulous Vivacious Violet, going UEF, how terribly sensible, opening first land. Team member number 3 needs no introduction, but we'll give him one anyway. It's Willow Wisp. However, he's renamed himself. I guess he thought that Willow Wisp wasn't whimsical enough, so he's added PSI at the end of it. Maybe something to do with air pressure, I don't know. But there he is anyway. He's going Aeon in Electric Blue, opening first land. And last but not least, over at the edge of the screen in Baby Blue, it's Superintendent Charmers. Only he's lost the Charmers section at Superintendent today. And he's also lost the plot going Cyber in there, and going Baby Blue, opening first land. So that's Team 1. Let's check out Team 2 down here at the bottom of the screen. We have Charong. He's going Aeon, opening first land in Ferrari Red. To his right, it's another red. This time it's Burgundy Red. Going Cyber and Blessing, it's Koikarpathan 63. We'll call him Carp today for obvious reasons. He's gone first land. Team member number 3, another Cyber and Bless him. It's Oxaraxo in Hallyborange Orange, going first land. And last but not least, in Mellow Yellow, our first and only Seraphim of the day, it's Echo Chamber. There he is, opening first land. Racial disparities are 2 Aeon there, a UEF and a Cybrin for Team 1. A Seraphim, 2 Cybrin, and an Aeon there for Team 2. Game quality at 100%. That's because, of course, we let the super awesome FAF algorithm, balancing algorithm, sorted out in team ladder matches, so that is why it is so perfect. Quick look at the map. That's what you're looking at, a very liberal assortment of mass around the map. Not something you're going to spend an awful lot of time selecting individual engineers and sending them to locations. It's going to be lots of attack moves and lots of patrolling to try and scoop all of that. A pond down in the bottom left hand corner, probably not going to make the most sense to engage in any naval play, but we do have 6 mass extractors down here, so you definitely want to try and pick those up. Then we've got a little line of mexes in the center in this valley section of here, and not a huge amount of mass around the base section, so expect a lot of conflict here in the center. Some early lab play there from Superintendent. That was shut down though by the forward motion of Oxaraxo and Carp. Their comms moving up towards the valley center. They were moving in from Superintendent. I think it was this little Spirit Land Scout that spotted them on the way in, so those ACUs shutting down that potential early harassment. Good job for them. What's happening with the key player situation? Well, as mentioned, Willow Wisp, the one and only pro in residence today over here, 1904 in global ranking. That is enormous, especially compared to everybody else on the field today. Next highest rated player is Carp, down at 1394, well below that arbitrary threshold we set for proness here at Guilecast of 1500. And then weak points, also of course to make a decent balanced section, a decent balanced game, with the weak points will be up here for Team 1, 2 sub 1000 rated players, Buzzle Bash and Matches right at the top of the screen over here. Echo Chamber right at the top, going forwards to try and kill some of these civilian P-gens over here and then scoop their remains. We do have a couple of inbound forces, T1 forces. They're going to get themselves killed if they don't evac. They sort of feel the same about it, so they're going to back up slightly. Buzzle Bash moving forward with his comm. He's also sent one engineer to grab these mexes over here and throw down a Ruptor. I like that play. Also got a couple of land factories queued up there to try and hold that little strategic nook. So well done him. What's happening here? Superintendent advancing on Oxaraxo and Chirong, who are lurking down here trying to scoop what are the only little Rex sections I've seen on this map, just lurking by the pond down here. Superintendent might well not be aware of Chirong's presence and the fact that he's about to be 2v1. He won't like the look of that, especially with that paper-thin Cybrin ACU, so he's going to back up towards his main base. Sensible decision as far as I'm concerned. Superintendent about to go into the yellow there, just dipping in 7,300 hit points remaining. Oxoraxo finishing off the T1 spam that was trickling down here from Superintendent before moving up. He doesn't seem too concerned about focusing down Superintendent, I guess because his base is so close. He's going to let his teammate push him off the scene and take the opportunity to grab two of those mexes. What's Willow Wisp been doing? Well, he's been busy. Check it out down the bottom left. He's already got 2 upgrades on his commander. Double Aeon Guncom. That's a lot of extra firepower, and it looks like Team 1 could do with it, because at the moment it's looking like a 3v2 situation. Superintendent also taking his opportunity to get a T2 upgrade, but he cancels it as soon as he sees Willow entering the fight. Says, I want to get me some of that. Want to possibly get an early kill here. The T2 upgrade, of course, would have established a large boost to his HP on that comm, but the opportunity is too great for a comm kill here. They haven't seen anything of Carp, though, so they might not be aware there's another inbound ACU, but they will be aware now as 2 focus in on Willow Wisp, and it's now a 3-on-1 scenario. We've also got a little bit of T1 spam coming down from the top there from Echo Chamber. No third ACU going to join anytime soon, as Matches up there getting a gun upgrade routed to the spot while that completes. Superintendent, don't get yourself in a 3v1 situation, even if Chirong is down into the red on 2,500 hit points. Superintendent also dipping into the red now, 2,400 hit points there. Willow Wisp forced to bring his comm back into the fray, lest his teammates suffer an early exit. Keeping right at the edge of his range as much as possible. Carp going to have to bring his much healthier ACU back into the fight to leave Oxoraxo some room to withdraw, and he has done just that. Gosh, it's been a full, fun-packed start to this one. Gun upgrade on the way for Buzzle Bash at the top of the screen, 65% there. Echo Chamber has backed off slightly from his position up here, trying to get the rest of these wrecks, so that mass will probably go to Buzzle Bash and Team 1. All other 3 ACUs for Team 2 locked up in this little valley section down here, and basically in retreat from Willow Wisp and his double gun comm. We now have a gun upgrade on the way for Chirong. I'm surprised he didn't go with T2 Engineering Suite, try to get some hit points back, but I suppose he's back in the yellow, up to 3,100. 10% done there on the next upgrade. Willow Wisp taking the opportunity to take down a land factory, which is on the cliff edge here. He's had to change target as some Auroras from Chirong move up and into play, distracting him ever so slightly. We have T2 Air out from Oxoraxo, already with a Corsair in play. That could be crucial. We also have T2 land in play from Carp. Any land in play, T2 or otherwise, on Team 1? No, nothing like that. So Team 2 going for early tech here. Let's see if they can get the toys out on the field quickly enough to really make a difference. Willow Wisp locking in on Chirong once again, who does manage to finish one of the gun upgrades on that Aeon Commander. Once again, back in the red, though, 2,500 hit points there. Willow Wisp getting himself surrounded, though, by a horde of inbound Mantis from Carp. We've also got potential air threats loitering. T1 bombers inbound soon. Expect to see some Corsairs joining the fray. Well, he produced one Corsair, but has slacked off slightly. Maybe he's having some power issues, struggling to maintain production. Willow Wisp into the red, 2,700 hit points there, 33 kills and a 1-starred commander. Gonna pull that puppy back. That's not a terrible decision, but check this out. Matches entering the fray. He's brought his commander down in through the center and is now using it to engage some of these forward land factories belonging to Carp, knowing that 3 commanders are kind of locked up down here on the south side of this little cliff edge. Probably feels relatively safe. He's also got some T1 spam coming in to join him. But now we're starting to see more of these Corsairs entering service. It's something to be very concerned about. There's no air presence really from Team 1 at all. And now we've got T2 fighter bombers from Oxaraxo and T1 regular bombers from Carp harassing a commander that has no ground-to-air support whatsoever. We have one railgun back here, which is slowly tickling the planes to death that fly overhead, but it's not going to save matches. He really needs some fighter coverage. We've got the odd spy plane, or sorry, scout plane, lurking around the fringes of the map, but no interceptor coverage whatsoever. Match is trying to pull his commander back towards that railgun. Is it going to be enough, though? I'm not convinced. 1,100 hit points left, and the hits just keep on coming. 400 hit points. Bosh! Our first exit, and it's matches from Team 1 at 9 minutes and 40 seconds. He bows out. I mean, silver lining for Team 1, at least it was one of their lowest, or it was their lowest rated player. And Willow Wisp, as score leader from Team 1, will inherit all of his stuff, because of course this is a ladder match. Full share mode is on. So Willow Wisp now pulling in a very healthy 74 mass per tick. Next most wealthy player in mass terms is Carp down here on Team 2. He's pulling in 43. So the one player you didn't want to have a lot of resources has now got it. So was that snipe a good thing? I mean, you've got to go for it if you see it, let's face it, but we'll see how things work out as the game progresses. Just when I said at the beginning of the game, this is probably not a game you're going to see much Navy on, Superintendent clearly heard me from the past and went, no, I will build a naval yard. Screw you, Guile. So there we have it. One naval yard lurking in the pond down there, and he's busy getting his engineers to those mass points. That's an extra 6 mass points down there. That's not to be sniffed at. And Team 2 showing no interest for the time being in trying to push into this pond to make a play for those. So Superintendent could be benefiting greatly from a mass advantage against Chirong, certainly his mirror. Chirong, assuming he's able to stay in the game, now under fire from Willow. However, both Willow and Chirong have personal shield and double gun upgrades on these AN commanders, so they are evenly matched. There is, however, 2 stars now on Willow Wisp's con. So it's a 10 hit point a second regen on Chirong versus a 22 hit point a second regen on Willow Wisp. But there is still this air threat. And has Team 1 done anything to mitigate it? We've got some interceptors up here for Buzzlebash. Buzzlebash, who isn't in a fight at the moment. But there are the Corsairs once again. And look at the personal shield for Willow Wisp. It is depleted already. We do have a whole bunch of tracers back here. Willow Wisp can get back to those. He'll probably be okay, but he's losing hit points fast, down to 3,500 hit points. He's got a lot of spam on the ground in the area. Can afford to probably send that forward, but oh my gosh, he is just throwing caution to the wind right here, having seen his teammate die in a very similar fashion. He could be on the way out too, and that would be cataclysmic for Team 1. 1,400 hit points remaining, in real trouble there as the Cerberus turret keeps on firing from the cliff edge. 800 hit points left. Another Corsair inbound. Bosh! 12 minutes and 20 seconds, and Willow Wisp, top rated player and ringer for Team 1, down and out. That is not good news if you're rooting for Team 1 in this one. It's now a 2v4, and it's a 10-13 Superintendent and a 970 in Buzzlebash versus a whole team of players, all of which are over 1,100. So not great. Silver lining, they're doing okay on generated eco. Generated eco, it's 187 mass per tick for Team 1 versus 162 mass per tick for Team 2. Yes, Team 2 are ahead in total mass accrued, but that advantage will be eaten into if this deficit does not get sorted out. However, of course, Lake in the bottom left under Superintendent's control, and he's got the only naval yard in play, so he's probably not badly placed to hold on to that. However, of course, we've still got this Corsair air threat. Team 2 with air supremacy. He will probably just be able to knock out these mexes from the sky. That's the view from Team 2. They're well aware that Superintendent has made a play for that. Just look at the lack of scouting that's been done, though. They haven't had an opportunity. This is the first pass over the base sections that Team 2 have done 13 3/4 minutes into this game. That's how busy they've been. It's also, of course, symptomatic of the Joey-ness of this format. It's exactly how the map would look if I was playing. No scouting done whatsoever, so I can relate. Very important to mention that. For those of you that are not aware, I'm not a pro. I'm just a chap who likes the name, who likes the game, and has got a big gob. That's basically the situation we're looking at here. As Echo Chamber makes a push up to this little nook we saw being worked on at the beginning of the game by Buzzlebash, trying to take down that Eruptor, eventually manages it, surprisingly enough. Still 2 land factories to be concerned about, one of which is at Tech 2 though. Soon another Obsidian tank will roll off the conveyor belt there and shut that little attack down. Gosh, words are hard. I'm sure that will be the outcome of that engagement. Chirong having repped up, looking healthier, but look at this little firebase that's going down over here. We've got Cerberus turret shield planned. We've even got a Gunther T2 artillery in placement. Don't know if he's going to be able to hold on to that, but that's the sort of range we're talking. Check that out. All of these structures are under threat. Chirong looking like he wants to try and shut that down. Gets into range with his commander. He's whittled down about 60% of that, but there's the shield. It just encompasses that Gunther. Is Chirong going to be forced to back up before he can deplete this base shield? Chirong's personal shield down to 2,000 hit points now. T1 bombers in over the top. It's probably going to be enough to make him desist. 1 factory over here for Carp. Down and out. But what's going on over here? Echo Chamber under attack, trying to defend his base from Buzzlebash, who's accumulated not a bad little group of T1 and T2 spam here. Look at this. We've even got some labs in play, some flares. Echo Chamber down to 5,000 hit points. We've got Obsidians rolling in with their big old Alpha Strike. Echo Chamber could be about to go down here. Yes, he is. And that was the win that Team 1 desperately, desperately needed. It's now 2v3. That alleviates some of the pressure. And the best news for Team 1 is there's nothing else in terms of ground forces in the area. So Buzzlebash might be able to destroy what's left of this base. They do have the odd unit of point defense lurking. But crucial addition to the unit comp. T1 light artillery being able to stay at range from that point defense and help take down those all-important ground structures. I mean, all structures are ground. Not true. Sea structures. Or that was a sea structure. Not that it was of much use. I still maintain that was unnecessary. So it really hasn't paid dividends. He's got 3 frigates now that will not be able to target anything. They might be able to hit that T2 mechs, maybe. But it hasn't helped defend those mexes, which have been killed off, I guess, by little air attacks like this. Corsair's still buzzing around, killing off mexes as they go. But yeah, this base for Echo Chamber, his old base, now in the hands of Carp. Slowly getting dismantled by Buzzlebash. What's that done to the eco situation? Well, Team 2 comfortably ahead once again, despite this little push. It's 227 versus 191 in favor of Team 2, and they're at 20k up in terms of total mass overall. Kill-loss ratios favors Team 1, interestingly enough. It's actually a negative kill-loss ratio down here for Team 2, so they've lost a lot of stuff. Is that a new Gunther? It's been ripped up, maybe. Hasn't got any kills, so that must be a new Gunther. And it's slowly picking off targets in this locale. Going long, actually. Going after the T2 P-gens down here. They're under shield coverage. One Gunther's going to have a hard time breaking through there. And now we're starting to see the toys come out. T3 Harbingers on the field. Buzzlebash pushing hard has brought his comm all the way forward to Echo Chamber's old base. They've had to let that go. Just look at this. That is Team 2's operational sphere of influence. Yes, they might be up in terms of generated eco, but in terms of map control, they're doing abysmally right now. Symptomatic of the fact that Team 1 have just kept the pressure on right from the outset. They got the start they needed from Willow, but despite his demise, Buzzlebash and Superintendent, surprisingly, keeping their foot on the gas. It's good to see. Chirong says, I've backed up enough. I'm yielding no more ground. I must protect my energy grid. Keeping his commander outside the front of his shielded base. Trying to thin out this spam before they deplete the shield. That shield must be nearly down. No, actually, it's faring fine. Of course, it's triple reinforced by P-gens, so it's got a really decent regen on there. It finally does collapse, and he does lose one of the T2 P-gens. What's that done to his power grid? He's just about alright, managing for the time being. But he's lost 3 of the forward mexes, he's lost the Hydro, and there's still this inbound Gunther fire. Down goes the westerly shield gen. Ion reactors going up in the main base for Carp, as they are for Oxoraxo, who's getting another upgrade on his commander. Missed what that was. Starting laser? Are they both starting laser? That's currently paused. Both Carp and Oxoraxo starting laser. So are we going to see some cowardly Cybran tele-laser business? Tele-maser, perhaps? Or maybe they're just planning to use their comms in a more manly fashion as base defense. They've both got personal stealth. Actually, no, I'm talking nonsense. Carp does not have personal stealth. Oxoraxo has personal stealth. Corsairs out for Carp as well as Oxoraxo, though. But finally, we're seeing some of these interceptors that Buzzlebash had in store being brought in. But look at this push into Oxoraxo's main base. Buzzlebash, 970 rated player, showing how it's done. Oxoraxo completes the laser though, and that's going to be really hard to contend with. They'd love to take down that ion reactor that the comm is standing right next to, but he is losing units very quickly indeed. Oxoraxo started on personal cloak as soon as that laser completed, so he's surely looking to use the comm offensively. Arguably, what other opportunity has he got right now? Main base just lying in tatters. Astonishingly, both of these reactors survived. Cloak 50% complete. But look at this. Look at the dominance. I think Superintendent could probably have a pop at getting those 6 mexes back. The air factory that pumped out the Corsairs that killed 2 commanders has been destroyed. Of course, Carp has his own T2 air headquarters now, but does he have the eco to finance mass air production? Team 2 now down to 154 mass per tick. Team 1 up to 260. So it is now Team... I can't believe I'm saying it. It is now Team 1's game to lose. The aggressive play has bottled Team 2 up down here in this bottom right-hand corner. Carp now... So we've got some double sneaky Cybran trickery going on. We've got another cloaking upgrade from Carp. So both commanders looking to pursue cloaking Masercom. That could be interesting. Buzzlebash bringing his commander back. Waypoints show it's going all the way back to friendly territory right at the top of the screen. And we actually have T3 air in play now for Team 1. Buzzlebash working on units in that direction now. Oh, and look, there's a GC which is pretty nearly complete. 83,000 hit points out of 100,000. That could be a real problem. Chirong advancing down here at the bottom left-hand side of the screen. Trying to take down some of these emplacement. Probably doesn't want to stand there just absorbing Cerberus turret fire at the edge of his own range, or outside of his own range. Just a suggestion. He must be terribly, terribly busy in that suit, hitting a bong or something. In come the Harbingers. He's got a tidy little force here with lots of asylum shield generators. And I would be concerned right now for Superintendent if he hadn't just completed the GC. Can the GC get down into this spot to shut this push down? Or better yet, from Team 1's perspective, can they catch Chirong napping and kill the commander? Because that would be a nightmare for Team 2. Chirong probably has no idea. There's the attack pigs. Look out! Turn around! Run! Fires the overcharge. He knows he's not going to escape it. There's the laser face. Targeted onto Chirong's comm. There really is no escaping. Boom! It's now a 2v2. Chirong bows out on the nose almost perfectly of 25 minutes. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Who's going to get his stuff? Score-wise, probably going to be Koip. Yeah, that transfers over to him. Will that help him complete his cloaking upgrade? Potentially. 97% done there. Can we see the mother of all comebacks? That's the question. Oxoraxo has already left his base. He's going on a rampage. Attack ping's going down. This is what Team 1 can see. No visual, just his own units getting wiped out. What he really needs is spy planes. He's got T3 air. Should be pumping spy planes out. There's the spy plane. And there, you see it momentarily highlighted. He's going to have to keep that spy plane over the top of the commander. However, we do have now T3 air access for Carp on Team 2. So you can imagine they will both be working towards that goal. Oh, look! Carp picking up his commander with a transport, evading the inbound GC. He's going to lose his base. He knows that. He's got to be pretty sure of it. But if he can come up from behind, if Oxoraxo can pick off Buzzlebash, and if Carp can keep himself alive and come in at a good angle on Superintendent, Team 2 could still steal this one away. Main base getting wrecked as we speak as that GC stomps into Koikarpathan and his territory. No way to defend against that. His base is going to be annihilated. Buzzlebash moving in on the ground. This is what Team 1 can see. Oh my god, where are the spy planes? Get the spy planes in the air so you can at least see the commander and target it. Is he even he's not even producing. This is a real error here. Should be producing spy planes to keep an eye on the thing, but he hasn't got a lot in the area to be able to deal with it. Engineers momentarily get a glimpse of where he is, start working on eruptors, but that base is going to get killed off. What's happening with Carp? He made landfall safely. Willow Wisp from beyond the grave popping down attack pings, but there's a second GC under construction. Superintendent pulling in 180 mass per tick, and he's got a lot of build capacity around it, so he can probably spam that up pretty fast. That will be a massive, massive saving grace. GC1 is well out of it down here, destroying all of the base sections. The bases are done for Team 2. It is all about this cloaky Mazecom play. Oxoraxo trying to pursue Buzzlebash, who is heading south towards Superintendent, but also potentially into the willing arms of Carp. Can Carp kill one of these comms, or is he going to take the opportunity to kill off all the engineers and this Colossus while it's in its fetal position? Oxoraxo backing off away from Buzzlebash, going after the main base instead. I'm not sure that's the play, you know. You've got to try and go for the win here. You're not going to win on base You're not going to be able to destroy enough to get back to parity on the base side of things. Buzzle Bash getting a glimpse of Carp's position. Engineers spamming up T1 point defense very quickly indeed. Carp sitting right next to all of this point defense. The point defense is able to target periodically. Carp down to 16,000 hit points. Buzzle Bash coming in to join the party. Superintendent knocking up against Oxoraxo. We're going to have to go to split screen to keep an eye on both of these. I know, of course, down there we've got the GC as well. We'll try and keep an eye on these three things, but Buzzle Bash almost got Carp. Carp down to 7,000 hit points, just below 6,800, but didn't manage it. GG out from Superintendent. It is now just Superintendent, the 1013 rated player, versus Carp and Oxoraxo. Carp needs to try and sandwich Superintendent if he can up against Oxoraxo, but still the temptation is destroy the infrastructure, get the kills. That first GC returning towards the main base. The second GC never got completed. Oxoraxo nearly in range of Superintendent. Superintendent does have stealth. That will give him a little bit of coverage. Bricks coming in from the southwest, though, from Carp. We can go back to single screen. GC coming in from the southwest as well, though. We've also got sniper bots down here. Carp very, very peaky on health. 6,000 hit points. But they're sticking with Oxoraxo. That's the bigger threat to Superintendent. Superintendent down to 6,200 hit points. That brick very nearly dead. Oxoraxo just a stone's throw away, but being pursued by sniper bots and the GC, who's in range. As soon as that laser face activates, you know that's game over for Oxoraxo. He's not going to catch Superintendent, and now Superintendent has a GC in between himself and Carp, who's got no base left save for 2 T3 mexes, some T1 P-gens, no factories, no weapons. Trying to establish something with an air factory back here, but really, what if anything is that going to do? Starts work on some T1 bombers. Scrolling out on the mini-map as well. Superintendent, well aware of the potential danger, spams up some T1 tracer anti-airs and throws down a radar system as well. And nobody raged. It's a miracle, says Matches. Get underwater, says Buzzle Bash. Yeah, not a terrible idea. Not a terrible idea. All these redundant units kicking about. Could probably bring those labs in. But Carp slowly regenning. He's on 11,200 HP. Getting some extra kills. He's a fully 5-star comm at 100 kills. But in comes that GC, and there's really nothing he can do about it. Willow Wisp rage. He's an 8-year-old genius who is on his 3rd PhD. I don't know who's talking about. Congratulations to whoever it is. Carp moving up to the top of the screen. There really is nothing there, and there's no way for him to get re-established. In come those labs, all the units that were loitering up at the top right, belonging to Buzzle Bash formerly. Superintendent. Signature on his radar of exactly where that commander is. No power grid for Carp to run that cloak. And there's... oh, how terribly unsatisfying. There's the surrender. We don't get the con kill. Oh, that's annoying. That's like when your morning coffee interrupts your breakfast and you just know by the time you get back from the toilet your toast is going to be cold. How terribly unsatisfying. Still, the rest of the game was banging. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I certainly did. Don't forget, please do like and subscribe. join in the conversation down at the bottom. It all helps ye old YouTube algorithm. And please, if you like the content and want more, you've seen everything. You probably haven't seen everything, but there's more content almost on a weekly basis over on the Patreon, which is a mere $1 a month. Please check that out. Link in the description below this video. It's the best way to come and help and support me. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. More to come from me in the future. But until next time, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.